Hello and welcome. This is Village on a Diet Recap Episode 5. I'm Kyle With from kylewith.com, and let's get right into this week's Village on a Diet Recap. So Garfield and trainer Mike built this military-style course, which they would run really fast. Although that wasn't the case for a lot of the residents of Taylor. They struggled with it, and I have to say the course did look pretty intense. It was really a military style with crawling on the floor and jumping up and down. I guess that's what CBC was trying to put across in that little message there. So, but let's get into the personal lives of everybody's week that has been passed. And I have to say that this week is definitely the diet blues, as it was put in the show, and everybody was battling with depression and it's going in and out, but by the end of it, we're coming out of it, and everybody was coming strong. So we saw 3 different people in the gym with Mike this week. It was Melissa, Sarah, and Jamie. And Melissa was the first one we saw, and she's the pizzeria owner, the cook, the local chef, if you will. And she was definitely battling with confidence issues, and it's something that I can relate to right off the bat. I always feel like I'm not doing my best, when in all that really needs to be done is just give it your best and go with it. And then there was Jamie, who was in the gym with Mike this week, and it just seemed like he was just working her and just making her do all this stuff where it just seemed over the top. And then we see Sarah, who's in the gym with Mike, and it doesn't seem like it was all that difficult. Like it was just a lull in the park kind of thing for Sarah. And I feel that Mike is kind of targeting and pushing people more than other people, which makes sense, but I'm of the belief that you shouldn't push a person to the extreme in a short period of time. You should work with them and help them and slowly get into a routine of exercise over a longer period of time, which will in return create a longer period of will create a better routine, if I will, for exercising on a more frequent basis, on a regular basis, I guess. And it just I don't know, I didn't think that was necessarily to push a person so hard that they're going to not breathe. And the other thing, which Brent pointed out as Jamie did drink some water, was I don't see a lot of water being drank throughout the show, which when exercising, does it not go hand in hand? I mean, was it not the teenager there, Jonathan, who was dehydrated weeks before? I mean, that was something that I don't see a lot of, so maybe they just don't show us that part, but I think drinking water is a big part of this. So we go from losing weight to quitting smoking, which I thought was funny because there's a couple people, Sarah, Jen, and Glenn, who was the town promoter, if you will, the crier boy, if you will, who are trying to quit smoking as well, although Jen seems to think that she doesn't want to quit smoking, that she's happy smoking, but that's another story altogether. She doesn't, I don't know, maybe I need to fill her in that smoking actually is killing her, it's wrecking her lungs, she could get cancer, but maybe she doesn't know that already, so maybe someone will have to fill her in along the way. But anyways, they try hypnosis. I know it sounds crazy, but the doctor is doing hypnosis, or tries to do hypnosis on them to imprint it in their minds that smoking is not a good thing. And it turns out, for Glenn, it worked, which is very odd. For Sarah, it didn't. And for Jen, well, she just wants to keep on smoking. I thought this was funny, sorry, not funny, but I thought this was ironic because I was watching Ice Pilots NWT, which is where I'm actually from, Yellowknife, and one of the residents or workers who I know was also battling with quitting smoking in the show, and she actually tried acupuncture. So it is a collection of all these different ideas, all these different methods to quit smoking. Needless to say, I'm glad that I don't smoke and I never want to smoke, so I won't have to try all these crazy different methods to quit smoking, so I just won't start. Chef Jonathan comes back in this episode not to go inside your home, but to go inside the school of Taylor School, to teach the children how to make granola bars, which in my opinion did not look all that appetizing, but I'm sure was healthy nonetheless. And whether or not those kids can actually take those recipes home and give them to their parents is another story completely. back to me. I remember being a kid, I would take stuff home, not give it to my parents. The day goes on. I'm actually not even a fan of granola. I don't really like it. I don't like nuts, to be totally honest, or oats for that matter, but good nonetheless. I mean, that is where this all starts, right? I think we need to get through to the kids of tomorrow, to the adults of tomorrow, before it becomes a problem in their adulthood, right? Like, I guess I could say I have an eating disorder. I like to eat a lot of food. Didn't start until I was probably in my teens, when I started having access to more money and having the ability to go out and get my own food constantly. So if we teach them while they're young to eat healthier, there's a better chance of them having healthier adulthood lives. Does that make any sense? Yes. So speaking of food, let's move on to Chef Jonathan and Chef Melissa. Dun, 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 dun. This is the blow-up scene that we've been anticipating for weeks on end, where Melissa gives the F word to Jonathan and storms out of there and actually leaves. But let's back up. So Jonathan comes in to check out, see how she's doing, and it turns out that she can't incorporate Jonathan's pizza as well as she said, even though she said she liked it. It's just a struggle. It's too much of a different pizza for her. She says she, quote, knows what the people of Northern BC want. I'm going to quote and say, I am one of those people of Northern BC, and honey, I do not want a pizza that is stacked of meat. I apologize. That is disgusting. That is what I have to say. I like a thin pizza. I went over that in an episode previous. Just putting that out there. So maybe try something a little thinner would have been great. Something a little less meaty or less fulfilling, but still good pizza. I actually agree with Melissa in the case that I don't like a hard crusted pizza. I like a flimsy pizza that's soft to chew. So I don't like a pizza like that. But I guess it was too much for her. She's afraid she's going to lose money. But I can't help to yell and say that part of the obesity problem in Taylor, Melissa, is your fault. You're contributing to that matter. Yes, it's people's decision to eat that food, but why? If you knew there was a problem, why would you continue to contribute to it without making a solid, fulfilling effort to change what you're serving, to help, and lashing out like that and blowing up? And the surprising part is, apparently she left the show. As far as we know at this point, she sent her kids to a friend's place, jumped in her truck, and left Taylor for the rest of the show. That's where and that's just too bad. It really is too bad. She could have made a lot of change. She could have been a big part of the change. She's not going to, I don't think she's going to lose money. I don't think people are going to drive all the way to Fort St. John just for a slice of pizza. This actually relates to some of the work I do in social media. If you make a product and you build relationships around your business, it doesn't matter what you sell, as long as you still sell generally the same thing, then you're still going to have a customer base. People are still going to buy from you because they know that you're in looking out for their best interests. And that's where I was going with that. So, yeah. Oh, Colleen, you and me should sit down for a chat sometime so I can yell at you. I'm sounding quite mean in this recap video. Yes, I'm going to be yelling at a lot of people, but Colleen, my dear, you are a mother of two who are on the show, and you are a horrible, horrible example for them right now. I know that was last summer, and I'm sure you're a wonderful person, and I hate to say this, but woman, you need to rethink your lifestyle. You need to stop making the excuse that, oh, your husband is out of town. He is the reason why you sat on the couch and drank and ate chips and read your book. Get out there. There's nothing stopping you. I am glad that you did change your mind there at the end of the episode, and you did get out and do that course, and you were beating your time. I just cannot fathom, as a mother, how you cannot feel that is your duty to lead by as an example to your children, to get out there and to show them what a good influence is, and to try your hardest to lose weight, to get into shape, to eat better, and turn, you'll see that your children will follow you, and they'll look up to you, even though they are adults themselves. So I'm glad there was a bit of change there, Colleen, and that we're finally getting through to you. Hopefully, maybe we'll see a breakthrough, and you'll become that role model that I think you can be. So we end off this episode with the most emotional scene I think we've seen in the Village on a Diet so far. It's with Jamie. Jamie, I know you're watching live right now, and girl, you are an amazing inspiration. You went back to the dress shop, I don't even know what it's called, but you went back and you fit into that dress and you looked amazing, and with the music, it was just awesome to see. Congratulations. I hope that you I don't even know if you got married or what happened, but you're definitely one of the inspirations on this show, and I think you're doing a good job. And although it's been taped already, when you're feeling down, think of all of us who are out there watching you right now and rooting for you. I don't know how much more I can make this sound corny, but you're doing an awesome job. We love seeing it. We're happy for you. And that is it for my Village on a Diet recap for this week, for episode 5. I am Kyle With. You can see this recap on kylewith.com. CBC, you've made an inspirational show. We'll see you next week for episode 6.